All right, white rhinos. Some of this relates to black rhino as well, so we're talking about their senses. So black and white rhinos, their eyesight isn't very good, so they rely heavily on their sense of smell and hearing. Okay, so if you're trying to approach a rhino, white rhino, make sure the wind direction is correct and you're coming in quietly. Okay, and if you can have a bit of vegetation between you and them, they generally don't pick up on you much at all if they don't know you're there, and you can usually approach relatively safely and quite close. Okay, but saying that, also white rhinos, I think also guides get a bit complacent with white rhinos because there are more of them and we approach them more, and their personalities or reaction to danger isn't always that extreme. It's quite kind of calm. Because they're bigger than the black rhino, they tend to be a bit more, confident in their, just on their size. They tend to ignore lines. I've seen our rhinos just walk through the lines and the lines just run away. They just ignore them. But saying that, they are still large and they are very dangerous. The ones that you've got to be very wary of are cows with calves. We know that. Babies are always very important. And territorial bulls. And the interesting thing about territorial bulls is if you're in the wrong situation at the wrong time and that male is following a female that's in estrus or he's with that female that is in estrus, he's getting a hard time. Just so you ladies, when it comes to courtship, you must take a leaf out of a white rhino or a rhino thing. It's anywhere between 5 to 20 days before she will let him get anywhere near her. She wants to make sure he's the strongest, he has the biggest Ferrari. Okay, that's all he wants to do. So courtship, and it's aggressive. They bellow. I think some of the soundtracks in Jurassic Park is rhinos, and it's cool to watch. And they give them a hard time. So this male's really geared up and he's getting fired up, and you come along. He looks at you and says, "If you're here for competition, I'm taking you out." So you got to watch them. They can turn on you. I had a guy at Patson Satoli. He no longer works in Makavani. He's just retired. I remember some weeks you have a bad week. Even him, he's a senior tracker. He couldn't find animals. So eventually got some fresh rhino tracks. He said, "Everyone, stay on the car. I'm finding these rhinos." And he went walking into the bush with confidence, tracking a rhino. So he was walking, and he just said, and he said, "Oh shit!" And he turned around and he looked, and there was this massive bull rhino standing behind him. So he had gone in after the female, Patson, but white rhino, the volunteers had great sighting. He said, "Yeah," he walked around the car, picked up on your scent and followed Patson in. They couldn't warn him. So he basically turned around and I said to Patson, "What did you do?" He said, "I ran, of course." Because you're not fighting its 2.5 ton white rhino bull. He was by himself. He chose the most obvious option. He just scampered away from it. But that rhino was coming to confront him because that rhino wanted that girl, the female rhino. So you got to watch them, be very careful. Also with the calves, when they've got young calves, they're sometimes very curious with white rhino, so they might trot up to you to investigate if they pick up on your scent. The white rhino calf approaching isn't dangerous. The problem with white rhinos, the mother follows the calf. So the mother then will come, and then she will look at you and go, "I've seen danger," and then she'll come past the calf and potentially there's danger. So if there's a young rhino coming towards you, you better move to your point of safety, or hopefully your point of safety keeps you safe. When it comes to being charged by rhinos, often a white rhino, I say often, like I'm talking from a lot of experience. I've never really been charged by white rhinos. I've had them come close, and it might be a fast walk. And what it is an investigation. And after the guys can just clap your hand, present, "I'm here." The rhino comes, sees what you are, and it will turn. White rhinos generally aren't confrontational, okay? But I've been told by one guy, he says, the only problem is if you are going to be charged properly, it's better to be charged by a black rhino than a white rhino. He says, white rhinos aim better. Because I've watched them before. They look at you and then they start to shift their body. They do this and then they do this. Because their eyes are pointing out, where's my vegan? You know what I mean? So they have to triangulate. They triangulate where you're standing. So they aim better. This is one guy's like an anecdotal conversation. He says, black rhino just get pissed off and they think you're somewhere in front of them and they run. So they often miss you. Okay. But we'll get to black rhino and we'll check on that there. Okay, but it's interesting statement. So I charge you, and there are some horrendous videos of white rhinos taking out cars and stuff. It is, and they're bigger, so you don't really have much chance. And I don't know, using a weapon to sort out a problem like that is not necessarily the best option. We're dealing with a species that's highly endangered, and I used to have these Chinese groups coming before COVID, which was quite interesting, especially because I don't know Chinese culture at all, and it's interesting to communicate, and I come from the cities. just on rhinos, I'm diverting a little bit. To make them realize how few rhinos there were in the world, I put a picture up of the Beijing Olympic Stadium, and then I put a list of all the rhino species in the world. I said, if you added up all the white rhinos, all the black rhinos, all the Javan rhinos, all the Sumatran rhinos, all the one-horn rhinos, they wouldn't fill Beijing Stadium by 1/3 if there were people. That's a realization how few rhinos there are. Something like 40,000 total in the whole world. And then they're running at us, one of us, 8 billion people. It's a bit of a moral dilemma. Do you shoot or you just let those Americans get taken out? I'm pretty good at sidestepping, I think once, and then just let them down back.
Mike, I have heard that, like the buffalo, and this is not from experience, but that they also, if they charge, they're very unlikely to stop.
White rhino.
White rhino.
Yeah, white rhino, if they're coming on a charge, but
Proper charges, they'll come and investigate.
Yes, but it's not a charge. It's
But
not
when they're charging, that's it.
Yeah, but I think when they're charging, they're giving that puffing kind of, like a train kind of. I don't know, I'm assuming. Luckily, I haven't been in.
But there are quite a few incidents.
Yeah, there are. A lot of cars. Okay. We've had it here. We used to have a male. He ran into a few vehicles. Even guys who worked here. The once I think it was Emma and Kayla, Rhino Bull got under the Land Rover and lifted the whole Land Rover up and dropped it. You know, we swapped him out for Hody. Hody's much nicer. Yeah, I think it's how it works. No, I think if they're coming on full, but I've seen videos. It's not. Yeah, I think you'll know when it happens.